party. This is week 5 props, and there is 4 of us, so we've got a ton of great alts, touchdowns, and parlays coming to you in just 1 minute. That is right. Week 5 is here. It starts tonight, and I am joined by 3 great guys who help me find tons of great alts and anytime touchdowns and parlays this week. I'm a little under the weather if you can't tell. I can't see because I'm like blinded by the sun. So hopefully these guys can lift me up, help me find some good winners. So let me go around the horn and first say hi to Tim in chat. He's always joining us, and we appreciate you, Tim. Great to see you, and good luck to you this week. Hopefully stay in this show and we will find some winners for you. But we got a new guest today. We've got Jayme at Hey Yo Sports on Twitter, and I got to put up his website. It's an awesome data website. Check out heyyosports.com. It's easy to remember. Check out his Twitter handle. Check out heyyosports.com. It's tons of great data that you can surf through to help find winners in the betting market or daily fantasy space. So Jayme, how are you doing? And tell us a little more about that site.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we were on last week, and it was a fun time, and so I'm glad I get to come back in and with some familiar faces. I've worked with Tyler many of times before. First time with Steve, but I've watched a lot of shows too, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, the website, it's like you said, you did a great job explaining. It's just a bunch of data. I got like some simulation tools on there, but it's all free, so everyone can just hop on and check it out and see if you like it.
Okay, well, I know I like it, so I had to share again. I'll put that up again. Heyyosports.com. So yeah, absolutely. Have it bookmarked, and I'm glad we could have you on. We're gonna be having you on plenty this NFL season with Tyler and Spread here. You know, just because you are super sharp. We did shows with you last year. We did last week the Wagers with Friends. That was super fun. You edged me out, and it was super fun. So no, you're always sharp to talk to, Jayme, and I can't wait to have you on today and other shows. So this is
appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And we said you're a Packers fan, got a lucky Packers fan. I mean, you just go from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another, and but I think we have a fun matchup to talk about this week too. So I'll go to Steve. Steve, how are you doing how you feeling for week 5?
Doing well. Obviously this is an interesting week. We had the one London game, and those games have historically been kind of weird. And then of course we have buys to this week, so there's less things out there. But so when we focus in on a couple games, I think that's kind of the way to go. Like, we find the games with the best matchups and just go kind of all in on them and ignore these some of these weird ones that we've seen throughout the year.
No, that's a great point. There are, to me, it's like the haves and have-nots this week. There's dust ball games that I think we can just X out, and then there's some really attractive games that I want to attack. We got Jayme in chat. Always good to see you, Jayme. Says hi, people. Tim remembered the Freiermuth win, Steve. Freiermuth Steve. I think one of the big hits you had last year was when Freiermuth went off. Yeah, when Steve won the early only Thanksgiving weekend. Freiermuth was like a 2% owned, 3% owned staple in his lineup, and went off for 2 touchdowns or something like that.
A touchdown and a lot of yards, like about 100 yards, something like that. Yeah.
Anyways, great memory, Tim. Freiermuth was the hero for sure. So, hopefully we can run some of that back this year too. But yeah, today we will find some winners. Tyler, I know you've got some winners for us. How are you doing, and what are you thinking about week 5?
Yeah, I'm good. Week 5 should be fun. I know we have some teams on the bye, but I think there's a couple good matchups where we're going to be able to exploit them. There's even one dumpster fire matchup I think we can exploit some matchups.
Oh boy.
So we'll be able to climb some ladders.
All right. I don't know. I want to climb those ladders. I'm into it. I have some notes. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Before we jump into that, of course, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. Tell a friend. Again, we have shows every single weekday, Monday through Friday, covering DFS, tons of sports betting stuff, and Battle Royale. Check out the guys' show last night covering Battle Royale. We also have content up on fanspeak.com. Steve just wrote an article about Battle Royale rankings, so check that out. And then finally, last piece of, housekeeping, if you will, is Tyler and Spread's free picks are up on Fanspeak.com. Go to fanspeak.com, click the NFL betting card. Free picks are up. They talked about Tuesday, so if you want to hear the detailed breakdown, check that out as well. But they're all free on Fanspeak, and you can get the link there for our Dub Club. We talk about these alts, touchdowns, parlays we like. It's all in our Dub Club for free. It's a free week trial, and it's just $20 a month. So check it out for free. That's what I would recommend. The link is there as well. So, all right, that's the housekeeping stuff. It's time to get into the fun stuff. We do alts first. Any alts, ladders, anything you like. Jayme, I'll go to you first. What are you liking as far in the alt market this week?
Okay, so yeah, I got 5. I got 5 ones
I
like.
I love it. Let's cook it.
Yeah. So the first one is Jerry Jeudy. I like his receiving yards all from 50 plus, 60 plus, and honestly to 70 plus. Yeah. I mean, you guys know, we talked about it last week. Going up against that Washington secondary, it's been said on this show almost every single week, so I don't need to rehash that too much. But Jeudy has seen 8, 6, 7, and 9 targets last 4 weeks. He still has a 20% target share. He leads the team with a 33% air yard percentage. This feels like a really good spot. I like Cleveland actually to win outright, so just inherently it's going to make me kind of like their passing game quite a bit in this matchup. And obviously Amari Cooper is totally fine too. Historically so far this year through 4 weeks, it has been the wide receiver 1 that's kind of had the better games, but I still think Jerry Jeudy is like a great buy low guy right now. I wouldn't necessarily go up to the 100. I mean, you could, but like I said, the 50, 60, 70s, all like plus 115, plus 200, and plus like 350, I think it was. So I like Jerry Jeudy quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Next one I like is Garrett Wilson. So this one I know he has not been very good so far, but I think all of his underlying metrics are actually really, really strong. He still has a 25% target share, 34% of the team's air yards, and he has a 34% first read. So I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to know to get him involved right away. And this is such a much better matchup than his previous spots. I mean, he's had to go up against Surtain, Christian Gonzalez. Now he gets to go up against a Vikings defense who is still good, but their secondary, I mean, like we saw last week, is definitely beatable. They've given up the most yards per game so far, which obviously is probably slightly inflated based off of Love and the Packers having to throw over 200 yards in the fourth quarter itself. But he's going to be going up against Byron Murphy, Shaquille Griffin. Those guys aren't near as level as some of the other guys he's gone up against. So I like his 60 plus, 70 plus, and 80 plus. That goes from like I think plus 115, plus 190, and up to plus 225. And honestly, I think he could hit 100 yards this game too. So I don't mind going up that high as well. The third one. This is Josh Jacobs. Gotta go with Josh Jacobs. You're gonna hear me talking about Josh Jacobs quite a bit this show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 70 plus, 80 plus, 90 plus, and 100 plus. That goes all the way from plus 120, plus 190, plus 300, and plus 450. I think that this is a smash game for him, and I know on paper it shows that it's probably going to be beneficial to Jordan Love as well. Their Rams secondary is very poor, but they also struggle. I mean, they're not a good defense whatsoever, right? So they actually struggle. I think they ranked 32nd in rush EPA, 29th in rush success rate. So they're just a bad defense altogether. But this is just going to be a favorable game script for Green Bay. Like Green Bay at their core does not want to throw the ball 30, 40 times. You know what I mean? Like ideally, they throw it 25 to 28 times. 54 times last week was an absolute outlier, and LaFleur does not want to do that. So I like Josh Jacobs quite a bit. And then 2 more. I'll try to go quick on these, so I'm not spending too much time on it. But Ayuk,
no, I like him.
You can tell there's a theme here. There's a bunch of buy low guys. So Brandon Ayuk. Again, all of his underlying metrics are still really, really sharp. He's still running around 86% of the team's dropbacks. He leads the team in end zone targets. He's going to get fed the ball. This is a smash spot for Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is going to have 300 plus yards here. So I like his alt as well. And then I think he's going to have 2 or 3 touchdowns. And I think this is the IU get right spot. So right before I came on, it was all pooled. I'm not sure why, but FanDuel and DraftKings, it was not on there. I'm not sure if we're waiting on news that I'm unaware of. But so anything from 60 to 100, I love with IU. All of those plus ones are really strong. And then the last one, sticking into that Green Bay Rams game, Jordan Whittington. I like his alt reception props, anywhere from 5, 6, and then 7 receptions plus. Like I said, this is going to be probably a negative game script for the Rams. The Packers secondary is very vulnerable against these type of guys, especially guys underneath. Packers defense is, they're good at taking the ball away, getting pressure on the quarterback, but they're going to give up a lot of yards. They did that in week 1 against Jalen Hurts. They did it against just last week against Sam Darnold. They're going to give up a lot of yards, and I think they're going to have to play from behind. So I like Whittington's receptions props, like I said, 5, 6, and then 7.
Yeah. Well, first of all, JB, I love it all, but I love that you're ready to climb that ladder. You're just like, I like the alt, but you know what? If I like it, usually with the guy, if you like the alt, you're willing to climb the ladder. And I like that you're willing to climb the ladder on all these guys. I also, second thing, like that you were, attacking the vulnerable spots or the buy low spots, like you said. It makes a ton of sense. Either the buy low spots, the guys are priced too low, or just the vulnerable spots. Attack the Washington defense. Like I know Jayme in chat said, how can you trust Washington? I hate Watson too. I hope we see some Jameis Winston time soon, but get it. I get it. That would be so great. How about that?
I think that would even be better.
Oh my God. Who was it? Was Jerome Ford that says when Winston gets in a huddle, it sounds like he's telling a secret or something?
I think, I don't know if that was Ford or not, but I do remember someone saying that.
Jameis Winston just will add so much value to our lives. But anyways, I don't trust, Watson either. However, I don't know what happened with Kyler and the Cardinals last week, but I just think that was an outlier. Continue to attack the Washington secondary. I don't mind Cooper as well, but I like the Judy call. And again, I like attacking either the buy low spots or the vulnerable secondaries or defenses like the Rams, that kind of stuff. So the Rams and then the Cardinals with Ayuk and stuff. So absolutely love it. Steve, I know a couple of those I had written down. I had Cooper Browns written down. I had Jacobs written down. And I think I had one other one written down. I had Debo written down. So kind of same game, same idea type deal. But don't worry, I got some other ones too. But that was awesome. So we're off to a hot start. Steve, what do you got for us?
So, and as Jayme just mentioned, FanDuel especially does not have a lot of props right now. So I'm just going to go on some key ones that I want to target. First one I'm going to target, similar to, and it is, the offense has not been good, but this guy has played amazingly well, and that's rookie Brian Thomas Jr. Going up against the Colts. You look at the receivers who are hitting the Colts, which is basically all of them, but it's these big, athletic, physical, deep threat receivers. That's the same kind of profile that Brian Thomas has. George Pickens just killed him. The week before, Rome Odunze killed him. Sign me up for Brian Thomas. As bad as the Jaguars' offense is, I think anyone can crush this Colts secondary.
Agreed.
And that's another one I'm going to ladder. I don't know what his line is going to be, but I'm laddering him all the way up to 100, I think, because basically every receiver's getting there.
Absolutely.
Next guy is a revenge game narrative. Chicago Bears. DJ Moore. Give me DJ Moore.
Steve, DJ Moore burnt the hell out of me last week.
Yeah, he still led the team in receiving targets. He leads the team overall in receiving targets. He's going up against Carolina. Carolina's secondary has been awful. We just saw, Chase and Higgins get him. We saw, early in the year, other teams hitting them hard. So I just have, Carolina's defense is bad in whole, and they played some run-heavy teams early in blowouts. Now there could be some pushback. I think DJ Moore is going to have a big game at home with the Bears, who, it's not winning pretty, but they're actually playing better overall, and it's not like they're out to pasture yet. So I do like DJ Moore, and the final one that I'm targeting is a running back. And which this week is tougher. Some of the buys take some of the best running backs off the slate, things of that nature. But I am going to go with our guy, big dog, Derrick Henry. The line's 80.
Oh, you took mine. Yeah.
The line's 80, but I think, good things happen when they give him the ball. We've seen it, essentially 3 straight weeks now. He's gotten a touchdown every game. I also don't mind doing a touchdown and his prop. And definitely don't mind pushing it up to 100. I just think Henry against these Bengals, the Bengals in defensive line is Swiss cheese right now.
Are they still banged up?
They opened up the practice window on these guys, but I don't think on 3 guys, but I don't think any are back this week. So as far as I know, So I just think they are, and that's what the Ravens want to do.
Yeah.
So this is why they paid Derrick Henry. And also I think game script, I think the Ravens are the better team. I think they'll be up. I think Henry eats.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it's a perfect defense to target, and I think he's just going to keep rolling right from last week to this week. I absolutely love Derrick Henry. He's probably one of my favorite guys this week in all formats. Battle Royales, DFS, and of course, what Steve just said, alts. Obviously, is anytime touchdowns juice, but he could probably have a two-tud, 125 or more day. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Tyler, I'm sure you like that. Tell us what else you like in the alt market this week. I know before you start, Tyler, I gotta say our guy Spread is in chat. He said, "Hey guys," our guy Justin is in chat. Says, "Give me the Watson rushing yard total." I like that, and be sure to check out again Spread and Tyler. We're on Monday and Tuesday, and Andrew and Justin will be on tomorrow night at 9:30. So okay, sorry Tyler. What do you like in the alt market for week 5?
Yeah, had to go scour up another one, Meg, because Jayme took 5 of them off the board. Then Steve took my favorite one, Brian Thomas. I thought Brian Thomas was going to fly under everyone's radar. No one would have bet the ugly game.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
He's going to crush this week. Get him up to 100 yards. He'll score a touchdown.
Agreed.
Same thing with Etienne. Etienne's finding the end zone. He might find it twice. So don't hate that. But I want to go back to that Green Bay game. Yeah. There's a receiver on Green Bay who's went for 130-plus yards in the 2 games he's played with Love, and he's had about 50 total receiving yards in the other games. And we're getting his line at 60.5, and that's Jayden Reed. He could easily nuke this defense. We know he's the big play guy for that team, and the Rams have no secondary. So if he gets loose, he could easily clear that 60 in one catch. And we know Love loves those deep passes. So I think Jayden Reed crushes again this week. He's Love's number 1 target, and when he does throw the ball, he will go downfield to him. And also, Jayden Reed gets some of those touch passes behind the line of scrimmage, where those also count as receiving yards. So he could take one of those for 50. We've seen him do that before. Some other guys I was looking at, I really don't want to mess with the San Fran game just because there's so much uncertainty around it. The injury report, I mean, just looking at it, San Fran's still loaded up with injuries. That's one I want to wait on. One I kind of want to get on, it's another ugly one. I kind of want to get on Antonio Gibson's rushing props if he's going to take Ramondre Stevens' job.
Steve actually mentioned that when we were talking earlier, yeah,
he's playing Miami, whose defense is terrible. They can't stop the run whatsoever. I don't see any rushing props up yet for that game, but that's somewhere I want to be in that game.
Would you
rather back to the Bears game?
Would you really quick? Would you do rush receiving or just rushing for Antonio Gibson?
I would probably just do rushing. I think they beat the Dolphins. I think they play with a lead, so I think he's out there just running the ball.
Okay.
And then one last pick. Back to that Bears game, Caleb Williams at 215.5 on his yard seems way too low. I would alt that up to about plus 250. I know they were able to run the ball well last week, and Carolina's run defense isn't all that good. But we could see their offensive line start to fall back apart. They're throwing the ball a lot more, and he could easily dice up that defense for 250 yards. So don't hate that one either.
Yeah, the only reason I got a little sensitive about the Bears stuff is, so last week on Dub Club, and obviously bets that I had put in, I had bet DJ Moore anytime touchdown, got that. I bet his alt. I did not get that. And then I put him in one parlay and Adunze in one parlay where I got the other 3 legs of the parlay and then just their leg miss. So both Bears receiver crushed 2 beautiful parlays that would have been very fun cashes for me. And I'm just a little sour and angry still. Yeah, I just didn't get, because again, it was against the Rams last week. It just, I don't know. They didn't throw much. Like you said, they just kind of stuck with Swift and stuff. So it was weird. But anyways, well, you guys are so sharp, you took most of my list, but that is a good thing. That means we're all on the same things. But I do have some 3 that I'll also be using as my parlay if it happens. Do we have any Anthony Richardson news yet, / Joe Flacco?
It sounds like I think he's going to play.
Damn it!
I know.
It makes me like the Jags even more this week.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But damn! I was so hoping they'd maybe be a little cautious, get a Flacco week, because if it was a Flacco week, you guys talked about Brian Thomas Jr. and his opportunity against the Colts. We'd have the same opportunity against the Jaguars defense. So yeah, I just think Flacco 100%. could have carved them up and then lifts up Pittman and down. So I wanted to just say, keep an eye out for Flacco alts, Pittman alts, Downs alts, and I would likely do a parlay with all 3. But Okay, we'll still wait. I'm gonna hold a prayer candle for Josh for Joe Flacco getting the start this week. Let me see if I had anything else. I mean, you guys honestly cover a lot of them because these are all good bets, and that's why I said that's a good thing because we're all on the same stuff. We're targeting the vulnerable defenses, the buy low spots. I'll ask you guys. I'll put this question out. I know Jayme, you mentioned Ayuk. What about Debo's alt? I mean, he's starting at 60. You can get plus odds. I think 60 is plus 125. So to me, with Debo, that's always kind of in play. No, you could also approach at rush receiving if though Jordan Mason has obviously kind of taken over that role, RB1 just fine. So, but his line's so high. So I don't know. What do you guys think about Debo 60?
Yeah, I like it too. I think I like all the guys, honestly, this week for San Francisco. This feels like a smash spot for Purdy. So maybe since you like IU or I like IU, you like Debo, it sounds like maybe the best thing is go Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Or, Jennings too. But I think Purdy, this feels like an absolute smash. He's due for one of those just monster games so far.
Like you said,
year.
300 plus.
300, 3 or 4 TDs.
You can get plus odds at 275 plus. So it feels, in today's NFL, that kind of sounds high, but he can do it. I think he's done it once or twice already this season.
Well, and this will be essentially the healthiest his receiving core has been.
Right.
All year. So it's he just came in with Ayuk just coming off the holdout and all that, and then Kittle going down, Debo going. So I just think
Yep.
That's a good point. Yeah. So like Purdy, like the 49ers with you there. And again, if for some reason Flacco starts interested in that, and the other one I'll call it, they didn't have a line for it, and I wasn't sure why. They didn't have a line yet for Kenneth Walker. So interested in that, obviously, against the Giants. It sounds like Neighbors is going to be out. So incredibly positive game script for the best ball people that thought this was going to be a split. I think Walker showed that it's his backfield, and Charbonnet has more of that, like he gets 25% of the work when Walker's in there, and then obviously Charbonnet did smash when Walker was out. So Walker just came back and just absolutely went nuclear Monday night. That was just fun to watch. I mean, that one play was ridiculous. Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. So Walker is on my watch list too. So I'll say Debo and Walker are my two, and then if for some reason Flacco starts. Okay, so I think we got a good list there. And again, all this will be on Dove Club, 7-day free trial. Check it out. Link on the site. Well, it's scrolling at the bottom too, but link on the site if you go to their NFL betting card, which all those picks are free. Okay, it's touchdown time. Jayme, what anytime touchdowns do you like for week 5?
All right, so I'm going to go with the exact same 3 guys I just mentioned above. These are like more certain guys, but Josh Jacobs, I think it was minus 130 on FanDuel. I saw a few places it's up to like minus 160, minus 170. I don't love that. TDs are just so random that laying that much juice on. I got like Josh Jacobs, but he is absolutely due to get a touchdown.
Due. Yeah.
He's going to. This is going to be a good game script. The reporters even asked him last week about him not being involved as much, and he had a good answer just about this. Just the way the game script kind of went. I think Packers will probably have 30 total rushing attempts, and I mentioned last week too. LaFleur historically he does not like to give all the work to one guy. Even when he was in Tennessee, he was giving Deion Lewis work over Derrick Henry, right? Yeah. So it's like Emmanuel Wilson's still going to get touches, but I still think if there's going to be 30 plus rushing attempts here, Jacobs is probably going to get 20 of them. And I think he's going to get in the box. I honestly think he's probably going to get in the box twice. So I love that. And then like I mentioned earlier, Garrett Wilson and Brandon Ayuk. Garrett Wilson was like plus 195. Brandon Ayuk's plus 120. Like I said, those are just bounce back spots. Generally, when I try to go after anytime TDs, I look for like 2 different things. It's guys with strong underlying metrics that just haven't got it done yet, that are just more than likely going to hit that positive TD regression at some point. And then other guys are like injury guys, right? Guys who are taking advantage of other people that are hurt. So like I said, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, they're definitely the buy low guys, good underlying metrics. I think they're due for a good game. But now 3 guys, these are much thinner plays. But Devin Singletary, it sounds like he missed practice again. He's missed practice 2 days in a row. This morning he did say that he thinks there's a chance he's going to play. But you can still get Tyrone Tracy at plus 260 anytime touchdown. And then you can actually get Eric Gray at plus 450 anytime touchdown. If Singletary plays, I still think Tracy is going to get some work in there. I could see Singletary being limited. It would hurt Eric Gray. But if Singletary's out, I really like both of these bets. I think both these bets would be plus EV. So like last week, I actually took Jayme McNichols at plus 600 to get a touchdown. I wish I would have took the 2 touchdowns. That would have paid out nice.
Holy
but
crap,
I took the one because I just knew, Austin Eckler was out and Brian Robinson, we're in the NFL these days. No one's getting all the work. You know what I mean? None of these running backs are playing 100% of the snaps. And so that's how I think about with this Giants team. If Singletary misses, I think Tracy and Eric Gray at plus 450 are strong bets. And then the last one would be Trey Sermon at plus 130. I think it's very likely that JT is going to miss this game. I am with Tyler where I do think the Jags are going to win this game and cover. Which I don't like, but I think Trey Sermon's going to be the guy that's going to get almost all of the work in this offense. And Jags do have a better run defense than they do pass defense, but I still think Sermon's going to be able to get in the work. And if they fall down to the 1 yard line, who knows? And I think if Richardson does end up being out, it probably helps Sermon even more. I'll take the rushing equity away from Richardson because obviously Joe Flacco is not going to run. So those are like the 3 guys that, like I said, those are thinner plays, but they're based off of potential injuries and guys maybe being limited or just completely missing.
Yeah, and I think that, like you said, those are the spots to attack especially for these plus odds. And I like your call on, Jacobs, the touchdown regression is totally there. And, this might be a good spot if you wanted to sprinkle on 2 touchdowns. So don't mind that at all. And and look on FanDuel, it's only minus 130. So that's not too bad. I definitely like this spot for Jacobs. So, all right, well, like those. Steve, who do you see getting in the end zone week 5?
So definitely my favorite one is also my prop guy, and that's Brian Thomas. Again, Colts secondary, and just his usage has been spectacular. It's like the one bright spot in Jacksonville right now. ETN, assuming he's healthy, he's also a guy you can target in that game. But a couple guys that I do like, we've talked about a lot of the Packers guys, both Reed, both Jacobs. I love both of them, but Dontavian Wicks is like a red zone machine. When Watson's out, him and Love just click. It's like in the 3 games that he's had, like 60% or more snap share, something like that. He's gotten at least 1 touchdown, including 2 games with 2. So, sign me up for Wicks. Getting in any time. One game I want to point out, it's because we honestly don't know if anyone's going to score in this game. But in the Dolphins-Patriots game, everyone has plus odds. Everyone. Lamondre is like minus 105, and everyone else is plus odds. So if you think that the Dolphins can get anything going, whether you believe it's a chain, whether you believe it's Mostert coming back, Hill, Waddle, you're getting the best odds you're going to get on them all year. And if you think that it's Hunter Henry or Antonio Gibson, like some of the coach speak is saying, like you're going to get some really good odds there. I don't know if I'm going to do it. That would be in a like a very cheap parlay, probably like have that as a piece just to really boost the total odds, maybe. But I just wanted to mention that because you don't see that in today's NFL where basically everyone is plus odds.
No, absolutely not.
And the one final one I will point to is I'm going to go back to Narrative Street and he's playing well and give me Stephon Diggs to get a touchdown against the Bills.
Yeah, that's definitely Narrative Street, and I like it, though. He's gotten in the end. What does he have, 3 or 4 touchdowns already?
Yeah, and they use him a lot inside the red zone, both running, receiving, plus 160. Obviously, I love Nico Collins also, but I think if they get near the red zone, they are going to try and get the ball to Diggs.
Yeah, I just looked up Brian Thomas Jr. is 175. I like that a lot. Just the value on that, too, and just the opportunity that he has, so... all right, like those. All right, Tyler, did they steal all yours, or do you got any touchdowns you like for us?
I got some that I was able to keep through. They got me for of course, the Brian Thomas. Then he said Narrative Street. I was like, there goes Diggs. But some other ones that I like Etienne against that Colts defense. I know he's minus 120. I think he falls in the box. There's a chance maybe he falls in the box twice. Another guy I was looking at, Ayuk. Ayuk's bound to get back on track eventually. What better matchup than an Arizona matchup where they can't stop anything? He's got one of the highest separation rates in the entire league, so he's still getting open. He's just not coming down with the ball. This is the spot where I think he finally comes down with it. Probably gets a big touchdown in the end, cashes that plus 140. Another guy I was looking at in that Green Bay game. I know we talked about Wicks, but Jordan Love loves his tight ends. Tucker Kraft at plus 280 is one I can get involved with too. So I think Kraft can fall in the box. I like those couple other ones we gave out. And that Brian Thomas one, I mean, that one sticks with me. I think he absolutely crushes this week.
Yeah.
Parlaying his touchdown and they don't have a prop for 100 yards on FanDuel, but that's one way I'd probably approach it also.
Yeah, I need to do more parlays like that, and we'll talk about parlays here in a second, but I need to do more parlays like that where I'm like, I'm just betting on one guy here. And, I just one guy to do his thing and then get some nice plus odds on that. So, yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you guys covered this well. I will say that Henry, if you wanted to sprinkle on 2 touchdowns, you always obviously could because he's very juiced for 1, but I mean, I think he could do exactly what he did last week, quite honestly. I'd like to keep an eye out. I don't think there's any lines for Mixon yet. Is there lines yet for Mixon? I didn't see any.
There was, I saw.
Okay. I don't know if it's juiced much. I'm having trouble finding it.
-115.
Oh, okay. Then I consider that. Listen, you can absolutely run all over the Bills, just like you can run all over the Bengals. So we saw what Derrick Henry just did. And I know Mixon isn't Derrick Henry, but I think he had a great week 1. I could see it, just that being an interesting way to approach it too. But I do like the Diggs call too there. So, I mean, obviously love Henry. It's juiced. You could do two touchdowns like Diggs, like Mixon. Jayme talked about Judy and I talked about Cooper in yards. I don't mind Cooper plus 170 to score against the Washington secondary. Not scared of that. And the last one that I don't think we covered, because I think you guys covered a lot of the ones that I had written down. Again, it's a good thing. We like a lot of San Francisco and we like a lot of Packers, but that makes a ton of sense, I think. And no, the other ones I had written down was Debo. So we kind of covered the 49ers, the Packers, that kind of stuff. But we will go through, and especially as more lines become Kenneth Walker was another one, because of course if you like the guys, but again, I could not find that either, and so I'm not sure if it's too heavily juiced, so I'd have to check that out. You could also, if you wanted plus odds, go to DK Metcalf. He just looks like an absolute, as he always does, monster this year, and he almost got a touchdown Monday night. I mean, that was just barely down at the 1. So, I think we covered some good touchdowns here. These 2 will all be on Dub Club, so be sure to check that out. Okay. Parlay time. Jayme, you can create a parlay any which way you want, with low odds, high odds, same game, not same game, whatever you're feeling. What parlay do you like this week?
All right, so I gotta stay on theme here. So we're gonna go with same game parlay with the Packers and the Rams. So obviously you got to take Jacobs TD. And then I like to do this kind of a slight negative correlation, which helps kind of boost the odds a little bit. But then I like to do Jacobs under 2.5 receptions. I love that actually as a straight bet. I took that like minus 110 last night, and now it's already like minus 125, minus 140 at some spots.
Oh, okay.
I think that hits like 65% of the time in this situation. He's only gotten over that one time, and that was last week when they were down 28-0. Right. So I do not anticipate that being the game script this week. So I love the under 2.5 there. And then I like to go Jordan Whittington over 3.5 receptions. So it's nothing too crazy, but it comes up like plus 366. Last I checked, that's what it was. And so I love those 3. That would be my favorite parlay of the week. I feel pretty confident. Normally I don't feel super confident in parlays, but I feel pretty confident in that. Like I think I would be pretty surprised, honestly, if that doesn't hit. So I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I like that too. And again, you're staying on brand, on theme. You like that, targeting that game, as I think we all do. Yep. So why not make it just SGP of just that game? So Steve, I'll go to you next. What parlay are you feeling this week?
So I mean, it's tough right now with so many lines still up in the air. But one interesting one I found, same game parlay, is going to be a little fun. But I'm going to go with that Houston Bills game. These are 2 really good offenses. This game could definitely go over. I know the Bills laid an egg against the Ravens, but I don't expect the same. And Houston laid an egg a couple weeks ago against Vikings, but I just don't expect the same thing to happen. I think the Bills are, defense isn't as good. Houston is still young, and I think Josh Allen still can be Josh Allen. So we're looking at here, and we don't know what like Shakir might be out, so there's not a lot of props on some of the receivers there. So what I took here is Diggs anytime touchdown. I mentioned that before. Nico over 83.5 receiving yards, and then 2 Josh Allen props. 1, his anytime touchdown, because this is a big game. In those types of games, if they're close, he's going to run for it. And then Josh Allen over 230 passing yards. Unless they're heavily up, I don't think they're going to just be able to sit and run the ball. I think Allen's going to have to throw. And so you do that. It's a four-legger for plus 16-13 on FanDuel.
Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah, and again, that's another just again, there's a have and have not games. That's another game that we want to target this week. So I like that. I like that a lot. Tyler, what do you got? Do you got a same game parlay? Do you have just a parlay of different props you like? What do you got for us?
I got 2 same game parlays, both from the AFC North matchups. I mean, I know Steelers are playing Dallas, but that is an AFC North team. But we'll start with the other one, the Baltimore-Cincinnati matchup.
Yeah.
If those defensive tackles don't play, Derrick Henry's crossing 100 yards with his eyes closed. Yeah. So we'll use that as the first leg. He's targeted T. Higgins a lot. I know Jamar Chase had the big play, but you do Derrick Henry 100 rushing yards, T. Higgins 80 receiving yards, and then the ghost of Mark Andrews under 23.5 receiving.
Yeah.
13-1 on the 3-legger. I like that. I think that has a good chance of hitting. And then we'll go to that Sunday night game, the Steeler game. Jake Ferguson, 50-plus receiving yards. He's the only other weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb Dak is going to have. And I can see him just sitting in the middle of the field, cooking the Steelers' defense when everyone thinks all they have to do is stop one guy. We'll go Najee, 70-plus rushing yards. Warren's still out. Dallas' defense is going to be missing pieces. He should be able to run the ball down their throat. We'll also add in his anytime touchdown because he's been due for.
He's another one that's doing. Yeah.
Yep.
Cowboys under 21.5, and then Rico Dowdle under 40.5 rushing yards, and that's 16-1.
Nice. Oh, I like that, and I like the different anti-correlated stuff that we got going too. So yeah, I like that. I like the 2. If we focus on those AFC North teams, and God, I hope Najee gets there. Jayme. How high were you on Najee? And were you a Najee guy or not Najee guy in best ball season? Oh, you might be for Jayme. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Did we lose him?
Oh yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I said, were you a Najee guy in best ball season?
No. Unfortunately,
no? Okay.
I was the opposite side.
Were you Warren? You were a Warren guy. You were either Warren or Najee. Yeah.
Yeah. Warren, I think, was honestly like my 3rd or 4th best. Honestly, best ball is not a great topic for me right now. I gotta be honest with you. I am like it's been a rough start to the year. I'm almost embarrassed to say, and I bet you spread would discipline me pretty hard if I told him that Zamir White was like my highest owned running back. So that is just so we kind of have an idea of how poor best ball has been going for me. I thought he was going to get most of the work, and he's just terrible. He's just terrible. So I was on Warren. So I'm hoping. Obviously, can't predict injury. So hopefully Warren comes back at some point.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of Najee. I mean, like White, Najee's getting the work, but he's not doing. He's getting what you want. He's getting the volume, but then he's just not doing anything with it. So I do hope he gets it this year. But Jayme, keep in mind, remember, it only takes one.
Exactly. So. Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so I just created a. This may be a little too out of control, but. I created a 60-plus receiving yards special, and you could obviously whittle this down and take out 1 or 2 of the ones you don't like, but they're all plus odds at guys at 60-plus receiving yards, and we talked about all these guys. So you've got Amari Cooper, 60-plus, Stephon Diggs, revenge game, 60-plus, Deebo Samuel, 60-plus, Dontavian Wicks, 60-plus. That's a 28-1, 60-plus special. I kind of like going with those like even numbers sometimes. The last week, the one that missed by the DJ Moore is I also did like a receiving line at, I think, Pickens 60. I had DJ Moore 70 who missed. I can't remember. Maybe it was Evans 80, and then Nico 90, and that everybody else like soared past it, and DJ Moore hurt me. But anyways, I got my 60-plus special, but you could obviously water that down, and we will have parlays in the. Obviously on the Dub Club sheet for Sunday as well. But now let's talk Thursday Night Football. We've got the Bucs, the Falcons, NFC South matchup. So I'll quickly ask, what do you think happens tonight? And then we can do a quick first touchdown and a quick same game parlay. So Jayme, who do you think wins tonight? Under, over? What are you thinking for tonight?
So I'm torn on the side. I can honestly see it going anyway. Like I have this at like a Falcons by 2 on my number. So it's like I have no strong lean. I think the Falcons probably win, but not going to bet it. I did bet in the under 44. I like the under quite a bit in this spot. And I love Bijan Robinson and Drake London tonight. I think both of them, like I would take London's over 5.5 receptions, and I like a lot of Bijan's. Yeah, I like a lot of Bijan's stuff too. But if we're gonna go with anytime first TD, I like to get like some high odds here. You know, I don't want to just take Bijan like plus 460. So I'm gonna go with Cade Otton first TD at plus 1900.
Ooh, nice.
I think that, like I said, I think it's going to be low scoring, but yeah, I could see it happening. And you know, the Bucs are hurt at receiver. They just had to sign Sterling Shepard, so you know that's never a good sign. So I think that we're going to see Otton get a little bit more involved tonight too. So I like that at plus 1900.
Yeah, well, actually, Steve and I were talking about stuff. I sent out the Thursday Night Dub Club right before I jumped on the show, and Steve mentioned, he was like, you might want to take a look at Otton. I didn't end up doing anything individually on Otton, but I do like that. Or if you did want to look at Otton could get more involved tonight, because again, the third receiver is Sterling Shepard, so that's a great call out. Okay, so Steve, how do you see the game going, and why don't you give your first touchdown too?
Yeah, so you know, I think this game, I think the Falcons are probably better than people give them credit for. We've seen them look better every week. You know, the first game against the Steelers, obviously Cousins wasn't great, but you know, he's looked better. The offense looked better since then. And they've had a tough defense schedule. Chiefs, Saints, those are two really good defenses. And of course, last week they had a special teams and defensive touchdown, so that kind of took away some of their opportunities. So I kind of think this game could be a little bit of a shootout. I know we don't typically see it on Thursday nights, but you know, Bucs, Mayfield, and Evans and Godwin are just rolling. Mm-hmm. I do like Otton these last two games. He's gotten, I think, 8 and 9 targets, or 9 and 8, you know, whatever it is. So he's getting more involved, and now they don't have any other receivers. So I definitely like his prop standpoint. My first touchdown, though, is I'm not going to go too crazy here. I'm going the big play guy, Mike Evans, you know, plus 850.
You're still getting 8, I think it was 9-1 earlier.
He's just the touchdown guy. He's the deep threat guy. Like I said, Baker and him have looked great going back to last year. Now Godwin's in the mix also, but you know, Evans is the guy who he has like 8 or more touchdowns every year of his NFL career except one. So he's just a stud when it comes to getting touchdowns, and I think this is a game that he's going to get one, and it would not shock me if he's the first one.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. Tyler, how do you see this game going tonight, and who do you like to get in the end zone first?
Yeah, man, ugly game once you look at the injury report. I mean, Tampa Bay's down an offensive tackle, their starting safety, starting defensive tackle, 2 wide receivers, multiple linebackers. It's a rough one for Tampa Bay.
I didn't know the secondary injuries. That makes kind of like
Winfield's out.
Okay.
Let me get these exact names. Winfield's out, McMillan's out, Trey Palmer's out, Kalaja Cansey's out, and on the offensive line, Luke Godecki is out.
Okay.
So, I mean, if there was ever a spot Atlanta could finally generate pressure, it's got to be right here. So, I think they might be able to generate some pressure on Baker, get him flustered. He'll still be able to get the ball to these weapons, but I think Atlanta, in the end, might be able to squeak this game out on the leg of Young Hoku again and win this game by about 1. So, I lean Atlanta, but for my first touchdown, we're going to go ugly.
They like it. The dogs like it. The dogs like it.
I'm sorry. Who was your first touchdown cut out for?
Kyle Pitts. We're gonna go.
Okay. Oh, hey, you get some odds there. You know, I like it. Yeah. I mean, Steve and I were talking about pre-show. I mean, he does like kind of go back and forth with like doing something, doing absolutely nothing, doing something, doing absolutely nothing. So, I mean, would it shock you? No, it's just crazy. And speaking of best ball, he got me again this year. I went hook, line, and sinker on that one. I think it's going to be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least around the total. But yeah, these divisional matchups can sometimes be a slugfest. So I think it's going to be a close game. I see the Bucs winning. But my first touchdown is, I'll go with the other one that was right around Evans' number. I think it was around 8-1, 9-1 at Drake London. He's Cousins' main target. And, you said there's some secondary injuries, as you pointed out. So I'll go Drake London. And as Jayme mentioned, I hit his receptions prop. I mean, he had the past 2 weeks 9 and 12 targets. So you get reception prop plus money at 6 receptions. Like that a lot. He's Cousins' first read. His first read look is all highest for Cousins to Drake London. So hopefully he gets that and more. But now let's build a same game parlay, and we can use anything we just mentioned or anything else. But Jayme, we each pick a leg. What would be your favorite leg of a parlay in this game? It could be anything. It could be prop, a touchdown, side, total, whatever you're feeling.
Okay. But like I said, I did bet on the under 44, but that's not fun. I don't want to do that. We'll go Bijan over 25.5 receiving yards. I think he's going to get involved in the receiving game. Tampa Bay ranks 25th in DVOA against pass catching running backs. They've given up the second most yards per game to running backs. Bijan should have had this last week, but had a pretty weak holding call that made that comeback. So I think they're going to get Bijan involved a lot this week. He sounds healthier too. They said that he was cleared all yesterday, was full practice. So I'm not too concerned about the hamstring. So yeah, I like Bijan over 25.5 receiving yards. I think that was on FanDuel, but 26.5 I think is on DraftKings, which I think is also fine. So
okay, I like that too. I put that in a parlay as well, like the Bijan receiving, because we know Algier is going to mix in, but I think Bijan's hit actually over 40 2 out of the 4 games, and I want to say 25 3 out of the 4 games. So I like that a lot for the first leg. Steve, what do you got for the second leg?
So I'm going to go Mike Evans. You could just do the anytime, which I don't mind, but I'm going to push it to 80 plus. It's plus 194 on FanDuel. Last week, both Olave and Shaheed had over 80 yards. We saw Rashid Rice the week before get over 100. Mm-hmm. Devonta Smith had 75, and Hurts didn't even throw for 200 that game. Pickens was carving him up week 1. So yeah, give me Evans and 80 plus.
Okay, I like that. And I alted Evans and kind of laddered him, because we know with Evans, he either goes under or he usually goes way over. And again, with their situation tonight, I mean, they could get Kate Otten more involved. They could get the running backs more involved. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to be Shepard soaking up a ton. So, I hope not, my God. So hopefully it's a lot of Godwin Evans. So what do you got, Tyler? What's your leg? Oh, I think you're on mute right now.
Oh, yeah, I was on mute. But yeah, going to roll with Kate Otten over 30.5 receiving yards. He's cleared up the last 2 weeks. The only weapons out on the field outside of him are Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Rashad White's not much of a threat in the passing game. Neither much is really Bucky Irving. So I think that those three kind of get pass funneled. Those running backs will get a few targets, but they're not going to get pelted. So he's cleared that number the last 2 weeks. Tight ends do good in this matchup. He can clear 30 yards.
I like that. So we've got Bijan Robinson, depending on what book you're at, over 25 or 26 receiving yards. And we had Jayme in chat mention that he hit his receiving yards 3 out of 4 weeks. So I know he went over 40 2 out of the week. So he did go over his receiving number 3 out of 4 weeks. So thank you, Jayme. Also, Jayme gave his parlay for tonight. I'll just mention that before I read off ours. Cousins 225, Bucky Irving over 43 in rushing, and Bijan 25 plus receiving. Like that a lot. And then while I'm looking at the chat, as we were talking about the Bills Houston game for props and touchdowns, Tim likes that to be a big shootout, just like the old Chiefs Rams Mexico game. So like that, Tim. So we're definitely targeting some stuff there. So yeah, thanks for those call outs. So yeah, we got Bijan over 26.5 receiving, Mike Evans 80 plus receiving, Kate Otten over 30 plus receiving. I'm sticking with receiving. I'm going receptions. Jayme mentioned it. I mentioned it. Let's go Drake London over 5.5 receptions. So 6 plus receptions. I mean, again, the last two weeks, 9 targets, 12 targets, first read. He's Kirk's guy. So I like that. And we get a 20-1 on that. So that's our show, same game parlay. I like that a lot. I'll be putting it in after the show. And that was a lot of fun, guys. All right, I'm going to go around the horn really quick. Any final thoughts for week 5, Jayme?
No, that should do it. I'm excited. Thanks for having me on. It was awesome again. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have some good. We're all very aligned, which is nice.
Yes,
Anytime we're all aligned, I feel like it's good mojo. You know, we got a lot of Brian Thomas love, a lot of San Francisco love, a lot of Packers love.
Yep.
So I feel good about it.
Yeah, no, great point. And again, check out heyosports.com. Again, awesome data site over there that Jayme has. So check that out. But yeah, love having you on, Jayme. We're going to have you on plenty more because you're too sharp, too fun to do shows with. So we appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
No, but yeah, we're absolutely aligned. I love it. Steve, final thoughts for week 5.
Yeah, just unfortunately another week we're still going to be checking on a lot of injuries, and that's why we don't have exact props on things yet. But I think there's value out there. I just saw today Romeo Doubs missed practice with personal injury. So I mean, if he's out on top of Watson, those Reed and Wicks and even Kraft lines, props that we were all giving out. Yeah, jump on him now.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah, there's as you said, only week 5, but a lot of injury stuff to pay attention to. I'm still holding the prayer candle that Flacco starts, and you will see an obsessive Indy parlay with Brian Thomas Jr. Anyways, Tyler, final thoughts for week 5.
Yeah, final thoughts. I think it's going to be an entertaining week. I think that final winless team in the Jags gets their first win, and they're back on the board finally. I think we get a bunch of receiver news this week. We just got Rashee Rice news. He's getting put on IR. He didn't tear his ACL miraculously, so may see him again this year. I think Devontae Adams is traded at some point this week. Cough, cough, the Jets or the Saints. And other than that, I mean, maybe Amari Cooper surprising some people and gets traded, but I think one of those guys gets moved this week.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see like Cooper to the Chiefs and Devontae to the Jets or Saints. That'll be fun, and that'll mix up some best ball stuff, but that's what makes it all fun. No, this has been a fun show. Again, thank you, Jayme, Tim, everybody for joining us. And Chad, he said, let's win some money. Absolutely. Yeah, again, on your way out, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Again, we got shows every single day, and check out more betting tomorrow night, Friday night at 9:30. Andrew and Justin will have the DGen Dads, more bets coming your way. So again, this has been a ton of fun. For Jayme, for Steve, for Tyler, I'm Meg. Good luck week 5, and we will see you next time.